Hello, welcome to On the Ed Son. I hope you're all well. So it's Saturday afternoon. If you're watching Football Focus, get off that. Watch this instead. Come in for the live chat. Won't be here long. Really just going to be talking about West Ham and Nuno Espirito Santo. The big Nessie. That's what I'm going to be calling him from now on. Nessie. N-E-S. Nessie. The news came out a few hours ago that he's appointed as backroom staff. Well, let's read it directly from the club statement, okay? Because there's a couple of questions here. So West Ham is pleased to confirm that Academy coaches Mark Robson, Steve Potts, Gerald Prendeville and Billy Lepin have been given permanent first-team positions by head coach Nuno Espirito Santo. So head coach Nessie, he's appointed Robson, Potts, Prendeville and Lepin. Right, so is this a good thing? Well, depends which way you look at it. From my point of view, depends which way you look at it. First of all, yes, they've helped him out in the first couple of games, so it'd be great to have that continuity. Now, also coming from the academy, yeah, they'll be able to give him the skinny on all the players that they've been working with the last couple of years or so. So you think, well, okay, that's a great pathway. We've already seen Marshall and Potts come into the first team as well. Does that mean that others are going to come through? Well, I don't think they need, or Nuno, I don't think Nessie needs these new backroom staff or this new backroom staff to tell him that now. He's been with the club for 2 or 3 weeks now. You know, he would have been having these conversations. He would be knowing who is good or who is not so good, who is ready, who's not ready in the under-21s to start coming through. He knows about Potts, he knows about Marshall. So from that point of view, I don't think it's going to necessarily improve the pathway, but it's always good to have that pathway there and it being solidified by having those coaching staff with you. So from that point of view, great. Only if it works, right? I think we've talked about this before in terms of, well, it's all well and good having youth coming through for a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden it just sort of fizzles out and you don't get them anymore. There's a couple of other things to consider here. In the international break, reports coming through this morning already that Fulcrum's been injured as well. Wasn't on international duty. He's going to be out for a few weeks. I mean, great. Who knows? Not sure on the legitimacy of that just yet. Mavropanos had a bit of a stinker against Scotland the other night as well. So we don't know how that's going to affect him. Not in terms of injury, because he's not injured, but in terms of, you know, overall performance and so on and so forth. Dad's Our Job TV. Good afternoon to you. So there's lots of ifs and buts in terms of the current first team squad and what they're going to be able to do in the coming weeks, and will that give the opportunity for academy players to come through even more, and can Nessie work with those players? But the fact that he's appointed the academy coaches to continue working with him for the foreseeable future for the rest of the season, well, that kind of tells me that he couldn't get his people in. Right, because every manager always wants his own people in and not necessarily have what the club already has to offer. So you could read in this into many different ways. You could read into this that Nuno wanted his team from Nottingham Forest, and either Nottingham Forest did not want to release them. I think the fitness coach went off to join Mourinho at Benfica. Maybe Benfica said, hey, no, you're not having him. Oh, he's here to stay. So, I'm sure that each individual club, Nottingham Forest and Benfica, are thinking, no, we're going to be quite territorial about this. We want these guys to stay because we've got our own issues to deal with, and we've got to wait to, let's say, until Ange or whomever comes in terms of a new manager, if they decide to go that way, of course, what backroom stuff that they want. So it could be, let's just say, if Nottingham Forest do sack Ange Postecoglou and at the same time they sack all the other backroom staff because the new manager comes in and they've already got their backroom staff with them, that could free all those up. So when they become free in the next couple of weeks, let's just say worst case scenario, right, for Ange Postecoglou, of course, then all of a sudden Nuno will certainly say, right, you're coming straight in, and West Ham will get them in. It's just that they don't want to pay any compensation to Nottingham Forest right now. Same as if with Benfica, they don't want to pay any compensation for what Nuno's team was. So it just goes to show you, right, that West Ham aren't prepared to do that. I'm not sure necessarily that's a good thing or a bad thing. We've just seen Conor Corley just get sacked as well. They paid Chelsea under Potter to get Macaulay over. And that's just a waste of money now, isn't it? Because they've sacked him. Why don't you try and sell him on to somebody else, and something like that, or get another club to buy us or buy him out of our contract. But obviously that wasn't going to happen. And you kind of wonder, well, actually, how many other clubs would be interested in Macaulay anyway? The special one, hello, money saved towards January, hopefully. Yeah, possibly. No coaches are coaching full crew to not be a donkey. No coach are coaching Amazon to have longer arms. Well, that's true. Look, the thing is here, is it a good thing that Nuno, that Nessie has got the existing academy coaches in? And I suppose it depends which way you look at it. Personally, I think it's a good thing, but only temporarily. I don't see that he's going to be perfectly happy with just being able only to take what's on offer. He's going to want to bring his own people who he's trusted, who he's worked with for a long, long time. Now, that doesn't mean that, the likes of the academy coaches can't do a job for Nessie, but at the same time, you kind of feel that, he's just waiting for Forest to let go of his team there, and then he could bring them in. I would not be surprised if we see this, in the coming weeks, in the months, or maybe we have to wait until the end of the season where all things change. It really depends what happens at those other clubs, of course. More so what happens at Nottingham Forest and Ange Postecoglou, and what the replacement manager would be, if indeed they do that, and if they bring backroom staff in themselves. And if they sack everybody at Nottingham Forest, it's all ifs and buts right now. As I say, I look at this and I think this is a temporary thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I do believe it's a good thing. It kind of helps Nessie set in. For me, he's settled in. He'll get a much greater understanding of the club, the fabric of the club, the fabric of the academy, and also the players there, and also the squad. It just enables you to bed in, and it does show that he's willing to do that. He's willing, or he's being forced to do that. Again, it really depends if he's had any support from the club, but also, if Nottingham Forest are playing hardball with their coaches, which I would assume that they are as well. Dad, I think it's the right move. Promoting the coaches allows them to grow with the players, and now we can rebuild the academy. Collins, Collison, Hines can start their West Ham journey. Well, that was the interesting thing, to say, well, who replaces them in the academy, and who else, what's happening with the backfill here? What happens there? Are they going to be as successful? Is this going to upset the under-21s season? So on and so forth. Yeah, be interesting points there. But it's, look, I always say this: any change creates opportunity, and you should be going there with, with both hands, trying to grab that opportunity and trying to, develop. Frog and well, hello. Morning, friends. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all well too. Thanks very much. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, missed the start of this. Has Nuno added any of his own staff as well? No, not as yet. Not as yet. I think potentially, I've just been saying, potentially it could happen the next few weeks. But right now, it's just the academy coaches have been given permanent positions. Let me just read that again. Is it permanent positions? Nuno stated, I'm very happy that Mark, Steve, Jared and Billy have agreed to continue in their positions permanently. Okay. They're a great asset. People who, beyond their knowledge and effort, feel for West Ham United. That's a key thing here. They feel that, and it is having that deep connection with West Ham straight away. This is key to challenge. This is key to the challenge we are currently facing. Look, I think he wants to immerse himself. This is all good stuff from Nuno for me. All good stuff that he really wants to immerse himself in the club, in the nuts and bolts of the club. I'm very very pleased by that from that point of view. I've been very impressed by their work, their knowledge, and their commitment to the West Ham United. They know the club, the players, and the people here very well, and that's a great strength for us going forward. Yeah, kind of what I've just said. Everyone has been very supportive during these first 2 weeks. They immediately understood what I'm trying to implement, and we already have a good relationship. Every day we learn more and work harder to get closer to the team we want to become. Everyone at West Ham United would like to congratulate Mark, Steve, Jared, and Billy on their new roles and wish them every success in the future. All good stuff, right? All good stuff. But again, don't know how long this is going to last. So we don't know, as I say, if any other players are going to come in. Other coaches are going to come in the future. You would imagine so, right? You would imagine so at some point. There's going to be limitations. Remember that Nessie is promoting them up to the first team coaching staff, so we don't know really long term whether they're going to be up to scratch. Whether how much faith he can have in them, how much responsibility he can put onto them, and whether he has to micromanage everything or whether he can just step back and manage from on high and just, manage his coaches to deliver the kind of ethos that he wants. We just don't know. Let's have a look. Nuno seems like a leader. If it's money saved towards players in January, I think it's a good decision. It's interesting that, actually, because you wonder how much money is there going to be in January and what kind of players is he going to go for. There's talk of Orford as well, that he's not getting a game at Stevenage. Will he be recording in January? What will that mean for future selections as well? There's so many ifs and buts and permutations here in terms of players available from the first team squad, which players are going to be out the door, which players are going, he doesn't want them, which players are in form, injuries to contend with, all that kind of stuff. Frognar, I guess you can't really know what you'll need until you've been in place for a little bit, to assess. I agree. I agree. He's got to be able to assess this. I'm going to say this, and I'm sure it will be unpopular. As long as the former academy coaching staff don't push youth team players onto him, we have more than enough in that group. It's a fine line, isn't it? It's a fine line between them just saying, oh, look, he's a great player, and then it all gets really confusing as to what is, he's got to be the figurehead, which he is. He's the head coach. He's the one who dictates. They can only say, look, he's pretty good or he's doing quite well. I think what will help here is that if there is a continued strong connection between the first team squad and the academy. I know David Moyes, what he used to do at times, he used to mix up the training, didn't he, with a lot of the academy players in the first team squad and just try and bring that together at times. And you kind of wonder, well, would he do something like that? Would there be a continued communication pathway between the academy and their first team squad coaching staff in terms of, we still need to analyse what's going on, regardless of how successful we get in the next few weeks or the few months with the existing first team squad? What about the academy coming through? Can we always select some of those guys? I know I said this recently. We can't do anything until January anyway. Can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. He can only work with what he's got. So we'll have to see. Orford not ready, neither is Earthy. Yeah. This fan base gets way too carried away with youth team players. It's the not knowing. It's the wanting to bring that, isn't it? Some minutes here and there depending on how a game is going. Yeah, great. Johan Cruyff model. Look at what Barcelona did with Pep and the players they developed with the club at heart. Ask Nuno was part of that as a player, and Jose Porta. Yeah, club DNA is the answer. Look, there is no doubt that employing from within is one. It's a cheaper alternative, yes. But actually you bring along with you that kind of great passion and feeling for the club. especially if they've been at the club and they've got heritage from, you know, from their fathers being at the club, all that kind of stuff. Case of Potts, right? That really helps. That really helps in building something just for the club, and you want to play for it. Look, if you can get anything like a Johan Cruyff type model, like a Barcelona type thing going on, I think we would be, you know, that would be our wildest dreams, wouldn't it? But I think, you know, we're always going to be handcuffed or shackled here, or Nessie is, by what the club do, what the club want to do, what the club feel that they can support him. Again, you know, he might go to the club and, you know, in at the start of November or December and say, look, I need this player, this player, this player, right? And they'll say, yeah, we'll give you that player, and you know, these players never come here. Or all of a sudden he'll say, I want this player, this player, this player, and they'll say, no, we can't get them. But I tell you what, you can have that player, that player, that player. Or here you go, here's 2 or 3 players, and Nuno, you know, he'll say, well, I didn't want these players. You know, it could be that whole thing. They do that whole thing. But there we go. Listen, it was a very short video here today. It is that Nuno has appointed his backroom staff. What does it mean? Hey, let's just hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. It could be a really good thing. It could be something that doesn't change anything at all. Or it could be that this is only a temporary thing until his preferred coaches come to the fore. The problem is that his preferred coaches don't know West Ham. They don't know the club. So you kind of be, you know, it's almost like, well, they should have come with him straight away, so they could all learn on the job. But right now, it'll be tricky to introduce them when there's this closer working relationship with the existing team. But I wouldn't be surprised if he brings in 1 or 2, drip feeds them in. I wouldn't be surprised if there's big changes, certainly next summer. If you like what I do here, say keep on watching, and thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments in the chat, and well, I'll catch you again. If you're going to watch your boxing tonight, let us know your thoughts later on. Up the Allen, up Dave Allen. That's all I'm going to say. And well, got a few more internationals coming on this coming week. Watch out for Italy against Israel. That's probably going to be the pick of the bunch. But really, we're all looking forward to Brentford at home next week, aren't we? Oh yeah. Just everybody's waiting for that, aren't we? We're all waiting for that. How are we going to do? How are we going to do? I hope very, very well. We need to hit the ground running. We need to get results. We need to get points, and we need to get out of the bottom 3, and we need to build momentum. If we don't do that, we're in trouble. Next 4 or 5 games, everybody's saying it. I'm sure whoever you're watching, whoever you're talking to, everybody's saying exactly the same. The next 4 or 5 games are crucial. I would say it goes beyond that. Between now and January is crucial. Is absolutely crucial in terms of what we do, what consistency we get, what performances we get out of the players, you know, what tactics we employ, how successful we are at those tactics, and ultimately, regardless of all of that, it's points on the board. How many points can we get out of there, and how far up the table can we get? If we can get out of the bottom 3 and pull away, and give us a bit of time, then you know that's going to serve us well. But we've got to get out of there. We can't be struggling around the bottom 3 in December, January, because then possibly that will seal our fate. Right, catch you again on another video coming very soon, live stream, whatever it is. And yeah, have a good weekend. Catch you again. Bye now.